He put a new lease on it.
Yep.
So he had to have it
Especially
surveyed,
to kids.
but he
at
lost
school
his
age,
survey.
yeah.
But someone has to have a copy of that. Wouldn't they put that out there?
Should.
So couldn't he go to the county and see if they have some on file there?
Well, the surveys, I mean, he's gotta find a pin. And there's so much metal on it, that's you can't.
Well, I know that, well, at least the survey kind of gives him an idea where to look.
Yeah. That is
They're just gonna give a general.
All the documents at the register of deeds office are
Mutual
available
aid
to search
agreement?
on.
Yes,
Are we adding this?
we are adding that to eight.
What are we adding?
Mutual aid agreement to eight.
Hear that, Karen?
Yep. What they added to the book.
There it is. What are we adding?
Mutual aid.
It's the mutual aid agreement we sign every 3 years.
Who's that with the county?
County, it's all the departments sign it, right? It's the one we all sign, right? All the supervisors sign it.
I just say, usually it's with other entities too, but this one's with county.
Well, it's all
It's
the,
all the fire
Oh,
departments.
all that,
Oh,
Well,
this,
county?
this.
12 departments
Oh, okay.
and their governing bodies.
12 department. Yeah, I have to do minutes.
And if you ask me to list them all, I give up. They're all listed on
I
page 2.
know, that's fine, thanks. Public communications.
Oh, yeah.
Public communication.
Okay, well, it keeps
That's the new security company that I got, the only one that called me back or got a big, I contacted 5. He's the only one that ever come out. And I actually met him at a meeting months ago, a while back.
And then there's a separate one for the, cameras, for the Dropbox. Oh, I want you to see that. It's in the closet.
Oh,
Just so you know the size, if you wanna do that cement.
yeah, we can
Yeah,
do that.
it's small.
Where's the camera one? Separate camera one. Oh, it's right here. It's here. I'm sorry, I saw it. Okay. All right, everybody will join us with the pledge. We'll get started. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you all for coming tonight. We are going to add the new business. We're going to add the mutual aid agreement that just came in. That's just so we're adding that to number 8 on the agenda under new business. Okay, so I just need a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
That's made by Fraley, seconded by Scara. All in favor? Aye. All right, so we will jump right into reports. Chief, what you got?
It's been interesting. We've had some really big high pressure calls in the past month. As of the end of August, we had 258 runs for a total of 1,764 man hours, which if you divide that out by the number of days, that's 6.83 hours a day that somebody on our department is responding on calls every day so far this year. To date, our runs are at 275. We are 34 more runs than what we were last year at this time. And so, a lot of accident calls, a lot of fire calls lately. And so, otherwise everything is pretty good. I mean, otherwise everything is going good. Our guys are handling everything that's been thrown at them. So I can't ask for anything more than that. So I do want to say the new Jaws of Life tools that the board let us purchase a couple years ago have been put to the use, and worked and worked and worked, and they are just totally impressive. And so they can do stuff so fast and so much power that it's, yeah. So just thank you for that.
Cordless tools. All right, Ron, you got anything?
Just Tim is scheduling maintenance for the ambulance, which it's just routine maintenance. Other than that, everything seems to be working good.
Okay. All right, assessor reports, we've taken about 12 calls. There have been about 12 calls for different record cards and things like that. A couple of real estates have called and made inquiries. We will be starting within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we will be starting all of the fall building permit inspections. So we're catching everything that's been put on new property, so. All right, and then custodian, Tim, what you got?
So the sign that we put up for the playground, is that staying up?
No, we can take that.
Yeah, that will just, that has to go back over to the shore chains.
If you wanna just pluck it out of the ground, drop it up over there.
Got it. So that is going back to the cooks.
Yep.
Great. The garden planters out back are getting in pretty bad shape. I talked a little bit with Joanne, a little bit with supervisor, because Joanne was trying to grow and weeds, and they're getting in pretty bad shape. Are we okay if they get taken out?
Yes.
Yes?
So the dirt can get used for many places of unlevelness, and
I'm good with that. If they're
maybe
not being used, nobody's.
someday you can turn it into a pickleball court or something, so.
The benches?
Hey, the benches stay, because those
Well,
are,
No.
The
wait a
benches
minute.
by the little memorial here,
Right.
yeah.
they're pretty rotted. Do you want them fixed up or take out? I mean, does anybody?
that memorial down
Sit
to
there.
From here.
Eagle Crest, wasn't it?
Whose Eagle Scout project was that?
Colin
Brandis.
Yeah, Colin
that-
Brandis.
Excuse me, is that part of the veterans, or the firefighter veterans, or whatever the boosters are doing over here at the lake that we
No,
could?
that is,
No.
That
It was
was
an Eagle
separate?
Scout.
That's an Eagle
Eagle
Scout
Scout
project.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, those benches are a liability issue, you can't even sit on those.
And
And
so,
they're just rocks.
11, 12 years ago.
yeah,
Pull them out for now, and we'll see what we wanna do, if we wanna do any benches or anything like that. You guys good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
So one more thing of trying to fix up around here, this is more of mowing purposes, but this whole mound that's around the front, are we okay if I kinda blade that and knock it a little more gradual? So it's not so steep, and
by the road.
is there a reason that we have,
Drainage. It was for, the reason why it's there is so it slopes down, it drains all
okay.
that way and that way. But,
I mean, that drainage can stay there, it's just,
Right,
if
right,
I
the
back
top
blade,
where
it's
it's-
just, I scalp it every time we mow, and,
well,
we gravel it?
the last time that we had that done, before this was paved, they were supposed to knock that down some, and they never did.
I'll reseed it, it'll look nice, it's just gonna, I just wanna.
Pull some level the hill a little
Scalp
bit.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All kinds of tractor work.
Yes.
I know. And then again, thanks for cause last month I wasn't here, thanks for the trailer, it's coming along, I got the, frame and stuff and the back mounted on the back of it. Now I'm just getting it so it's a little taller and leaves, so it'll be ready by the time leaves fall.
And we're doing aluminum panels, not plywood, right?
We're not doing aluminum
No, we're
anymore,
gonna do plywood? Okay,
Oh,
so.
okay.
And then some of them were, so I've heard a couple of people ask why the fire truck was out yesterday. It's 9/11. That's just something that the flags were half, and as long as I'm alive, it's never gonna get forgotten, so we're gonna do it. Stuff was out in the rain, but it dries.
Yep.
So.
It's okay, Tim's here to clean it nice and good too.
That's it on that one. I'm gonna go right into transfer station, the
Yeah, you can go to the transfer station. I saw that you have your one brochure thing. Is that something you're thinking of? Stuff for you? Your
Yeah,
flyer?
correct. We will, if there's any changes to that, we have until whenever you mail out the winter taxes. We'd
And-
like that to go in it.
Well, here's the thought with that, just as a side note, not everybody gets the tax bills, some people, it goes to their banks and they may not, right? So,
They all.
they all
No,
get.
they don't.
No, they don't.
Okay, so can we do it with the assessment, can we do it, when's the next assessment notice?
In March, isn't it, when the new assessments come out?
So should we hold off for the assessment notice? Or should we just do both? I mean, it doesn't cost us
Why
anything.
doesn't everybody get that? I mean, you don't have to go into detail, but why doesn't everybody get a
It depends on the
tax thing?
mortgage company that you go through. I used to be through Wells Fargo. I never saw a tax bill from the time I took out my mortgage until I paid off my house. I did, however, on my statement, see where they paid my taxes. I had no idea what they were paid.
So anyhow, we would like to either, for sure, throw them in with the
If they go out the winter tax bill, people are gonna forget about it.
this won't be the only time.
Okay,
We're
'cause
going
they
to,
will not read it.
we are trying
They'll call
to,
you.
we are trying to educate a little bit, so it's just, we're gonna keep picking. If we do this, we'll have Bill, whoever to hand them out, that's just a goal that us as our little workshop is trying to.
I think these just being handed out at trash over a couple month-long period is probably the best way to do it. We can put it in one of the notices, but like you said, it's the time frame as this gets closer, 2 months before, we'll just have this printed. Now, are we going to keep with the 3-yard limit? Or is it just as much as you wanna bring? I mean, cause that, I don't see that on here, that we're keeping that. That would be the only
So
thing.
that's why, that's another
Okay, so the
addition
limits
that
would
we
be
should-
added, okay.
Yep.
I didn't know what y'all wanted to decide, so.
I think we should stay with the limit because we're already get some that go over and we kinda let slide because,
Which we were trying to come up with an alternative idea on how we could do that, maybe if they came and paid in advance, because trying to take money that day with the cluster,
What is on
of
that,
people, the
Richard?
humanity.
Well, the thing is, you just have to have somebody on the road that either lets them go or lets them go to the paid guy, and I can be there next year to do that, I've done it in the past. And you don't know how much they're gonna bring, somebody will come in and say, yeah, I have 4 yards and they have 12, but I already paid, so that's why you have to kinda see what they're
Right.
bringing that day.
Right.
So we'll just keep that, it's $20, I say we go $20 per yard over the 3-yard limit, which is a 4 by 8, 4 foot by 8 foot by 4 foot high truck load.
correct. And
It's
that's
just a working copy.
what that's what our workshop, we're gonna continue meeting and we're gonna continue figuring things.
Yep.
I know we're not gonna fix all, but if we can fix a certain percent, better on all our ends.
I'll have a little blurb for you on that you guys can just add in.
Okay.
Since a few people say that everybody receives those, make a poster like that as you're coming into the transfer station, everybody sees it.
Yeah.
We used to have a banner that talked about Connect, we change the date every year, YouTube. Didn't we used to have
Jordan too.
one? Jordan, Jason,
I've never seen a banner.
I thought we had a banner.
We have one for the 4th of July,
Yeah.
2 of
Okay,
them.
maybe not, but that would be, we could do a poster banner, something like that, we could actually list these things on there, that wouldn't be a bad idea. So I'm sorry, Tim, go ahead. I apologize.
Nope, that's fine. So we will make sure that and others throughout before spring cleanup, there'll be enough of that stuff out to hopefully people see it. So on just real quick, what we've been doing is we've been communicating with Bay Area Recycling. We've been dealing with Patnos Recycling. And I've already talked to Republic, and Republic doesn't schedule like Rich always did it. Now I'm gonna I got calls out to them. They don't schedule until after the first of the year anyhow. So we're gonna stick with our 3 trucks, 2 on standby. and I think, is that one?
And that would limit us too, right there, what you just said, as far as going out in tax bills, because they don't do it till after the first of the year. Tax bills are already out, so it would have to be the assessment, or just by giving them out flyer-wise. And I think flyer-wise is one of the better, just having them there, just having a stack of them.
Yeah.
You can have them all over the township, we can put them in stores.
Yeah, one of our biggest things that, not one of our biggest, but last spring cleanup, we were super overwhelmed with mattresses. So that's one of the things, our little workshop is either we're going to limit it to 2 or 3 or 1, whatever it is, and the rest they're gonna throw in the ditch somewhere, but I don't know. That's what we're working on as a little workshop, so.
Do we wanna put a price on mattresses?
Sure.
$1 mattress, $2 mattress?
Beyond 2,
Charge
That's why
15 when
we
you
used
bring
to
them to the
put a,
recycle plates.
Is that what they're charging, 15?
15.
Or 14
we can
Is,
think about
is
it.
the recycle place there in Calva still?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the
Alright.
Bay, that's the Bay
Bay Area.
Area. I
Okay,
contacted them, really great, but
it's $15.
they take TVs, all that, all the electronic type stuff, they do 35 cents a pound. And then mattresses and box springs, doesn't matter if it's king, queen, whatever size, are $15 for each.
Okay.
So, but we're
Working.
we're still working on that, so,
It's never gonna be perfect,
I know,
just try the best you can. All right,
thanks.
okay. Okay, let's see here. Got a report from Val. We had the watershed, conservatory council meeting here. I was at that. It was a pretty decent turnout, depending on which way you stand there. I believe Norman and a lot of the townships in Manistee already have the requirements for what this is. It's a lot of the townships south and east, that do not have any zoning, but Eagle still controls them. You know, as far as up on the water, so this would be like a third layer, that they were wanting to put over the top. And that layer supersedes our layer. So basically what I mean by that is if you have to be 50 feet away to build from the river according to Norman Township zoning, but that said 75 is the rule. So whichever one is more stringent is the way you keep it. I think it's kind of in its infancy stage. How it works is if the township were to adopt the natural rivers zoning or act, then they would just come to the township, but we would have to follow their rules. And we wouldn't have a say on how we wanted it done. So that's my biggest drawback of it, but it does make it unified through the whole 14 townships, I believe. Like I said, 9 of the 14 had zoning, 7 did not. So that's where you come into, you know, some of us are doing our job. Currently, the river water quality is great, bug quality is great, everything's great on that river. So, you know, my suggestion was you need to get on the townships that don't have zoning and help them do their job. We're already doing ours. And that's just, you know, that way you don't have all these layers that you have to go through. You know, and once again, it's somebody in the DNR in Lansing that has got the final say. Yeah, there's a board put up of somebody from you, a representative, this representative, but it's, you know, their wildlife management people and their DNR, and so it's people from our area making the say over our river. I'm not in favor of it, but it's in its infancy. They're doing a great job. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just, that's what I got out of the meeting when I was there. So go back to that. We have a celebration of life. We have a couple different things in September. And then we got a couple little things in October. So, and we're getting a 5-year health department system check, taken care of. Joanne's working on that, so that should be management council.
and her brochures,
Mhm.
that should be done.
Okay.
pretty quick.
Thank
Well,
you.
should-
She
okay.
has been working on that, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Parks and Rec.
Not a whole lot new. Good news is the fishing dock is going in. That should be completed tomorrow. I talked to Rich a little bit about it. I had him, the water is down, but I had him move the dock closer to the edge of the water, but it is also higher. So I think after it's all finished, we'll probably end up having to get like a load of gravel to add around it, so that when the water is low like it is, it's still easy to get up on.
Alright. Tim, did you have something?
Sorry, once you said gravel, that was another, I hope it's not a problem, but, so all the way around the lake, road right away, is it county or is that kind of, like all our little entrances, the gravel driveways are a lot lower than the asphalt, and the asphalt road is like, is that something we should?
That's county,
Okay, I just.
but you're talking the access to our park.
Yeah, like on the, anywhere there's people that drive in to go to like to the roof, that side and anywhere there's.
So you wanna get a little gravel there to just stop the hump, yeah, go ahead, I think that needs,
And
that's
then
our stuff.
The big, between that and that whole gravel section through the transfer station, the asphalt is that much lower than the gravel.
Yeah, I've built that up 3 times.
And it's just gonna wreck our asphalt if we don't, so.
You want more tractor work, that's all.
No.
Alright, yeah, if you need gravel to, yeah, we gotta protect the edges of the asphalt, I mean, if not, it just breaks away, so yeah,
Okay.
that's a good call.
Good, as soon as you talked about gravel, I remembered that was another, thanks.
But, I don't know, other than that, and then Jason said he talked to him and they're gonna pull the old dock tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, we're gonna start getting that out of there.
Okay, great.
So they were asking, and I was talking to Jordan about it, so the old steps that go down to the fishing dock now, they asked, are they staying or whatever, and I kinda told them if they gotta go,
They gotta go,
they gotta go.
they gotta get the machine down and grab it, yeah.
Is that those beams that are just?
Yeah,
the
they're,
old rail-
just,
the
they're
old
broken the bottom
Railroad
side
ties or
anyway, so,
whatever,
yeah.
junk, yeah, alright.
Okay, you're good with that, right? I mean, they're old and they're rotted.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely, I think they should all go and have
Yep.
some dirt dumped in there.
That's right down the lake.
More grassy.
More tractor work, more dirt. Well, that's where some of this dirt might go, right down there, it's got grass in it already, just sod it right down.
Take them
You got
back,
that new
so
trailer, you
dump
can load
that
it up.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, we have a dump trailer now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Look at that, paying for itself already.
Planning, what you got?
Not much, cause we didn't, we're missing some people, so we weren't able to do a whole lot,
Okay,
so.
alright. Zoning, I did not get a report from Bob this month. Ben, I noticed I've processed about 7 land use permits this last month, so it's slowing down a little bit. It's not the boom that we had earlier in the year, so. All right, public communication, we have Tim McCourt. This MMR, it's a new liability insurance company that we have for the township. He was gonna come and do a presentation. Underwriters did not complete what they needed to for him. So if he were to get this information to me, by the end of the week, early next week, I will send it out to everybody. If we're interested, and in looking at a different insurance company and what they offer, this company, depending on what their coverage rates are gonna be, they do have, they're kind of, I guess in the simplest way to say it, they're a group that takes in all their monies, and if they don't pay out a ton and they have extra money, then they dole it back out either through grants, through emergency, to emergency departments, or vice versa, that kind of thing. So it's kind of more of an in-house, it's a group that they are a nonprofit and they will dole out, dividends
thing.
kind of thing at the end, or grant, they have a grant program too, so that's all gonna be in that
Or
packet.
both.
Yep, so I will try to get that to you. It's something you'll probably get Friday or Monday or Tuesday, probably by the latest next week. All right. Anybody else public comment? You got anybody else? Yes, sir.
The boat docks, really nice. But can I have one request?
Yeah.
Can we get some posts up on them? 4x4s. I was launching one time, I'm having a hard time not holding myself to get into my boat. And I was asking a few people that were launching that day too, and they said that would be nice at the boat docks to have something there to grab onto for the balance to get into their boats.
Okay.
If we put a post on each one of them docks,
Or one in
make
the
sure they're
middle.
tall enough to put a light on.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're overdoing it, Jason.
And the other thing that I noticed on that, you guys, I haven't really been down there since you put them in. Have you been down there? Are they starting to get chewed up on the edges?
Oh yeah, people are smashing their boats right here.
Bumper guards.
They have Menards when I was there, and I should have.
Old fire hose works wonders.
They have an actual bumper guy.
Yeah. That's what
Okay,
I found
so
the
I guess
last
we're
one.
using
Trade
fire
fire
hose.
hose for air packs.
I don't know about that, but Menards actually has a rubber dot bumper that, or we can do fire hose, like 2 layers of fire hose. I don't know what you guys think, but I can't remember how much that was. Tim, did you look at that too? Were you the one saying that you saw it up there too?
Somebody,
Somebody said something about it. Yeah, so, but yeah, we're gonna have to do something. Now, if we put a post up there, how are we gonna support, I mean, the decking's already done, it's all metal underneath. Is there anything to secure that to?
that'll have to be drilled and bolted all the way through, cause we wanna make sure we keep the post inside.
Inside.
Cause that was a pain in the,
Well, I was thinking if you took a board out and cut the board through and put the posts on the inside, so you wouldn't,
That's what he's talking about.
okay.
But the problem with those boards, they're all V-groove board. So they're all tongue and groove together.
I don't know how easy they'll move now that everything's
Swollen.
probably swelled together, but.
Okay,
But it's possible,
Pole.
one in the middle, a post, and one at the end. You know, as you're coming in with the bolt.
okay. We'll look at something we can do
I
there.
don't cry much, but that one I'm crying about.
Okay. So you guys can't get
But
into
are we
those.
okay
You
with
guys.
buying these guards?
We'll look at the guards. We'll try to find something. We're almost through the season.
Yes.
We're at the end of the season, but that's something we'll look into, and we'll look into doing that for the big rush next season.
The season would be cheaper.
Yes, they
It
will.
might be. I'll go over and look and see, what it is. All right. Anybody else? Was there anybody signed up?
The pontoon at Lake signed up, says get me out of the.
I
water."
know. Steve and I have had a really hard time getting together. He was supposed to come over one night. I was there. He wasn't there. Then, yeah.
No, there's no.
Was that fit on our dump trailer?
No. No.
No, it was just Jim.
Oh, okay. Just Jim. All right. Just Jim. All right.
Just,
So we'll go on the new business. Okay, so we have an estimate for Covet Security here. Like I said, I called and talked to 4 to 5 different reps. This is the only guy in the last 3 weeks that's gotten back with me. Very efficient. Him and his son own the alarm company. That is a very weak smoke detector. That is a very weak smoke detector.
The one in the kitchen don't work at all.
The one in the kitchen, and the heat sensor there. So he would be replacing the smoke detectors throughout the building. He would be replacing the motion detectors. There's a heat detector in each one of the bathrooms. New keypad at that door, new keypad at the office. So basically, reusing the wire, replacing and updating all the equipment. Labor and everything on that was $31.60. And then his monitoring service is $15 a month, right?
No, 52.50.
Oh, $52.50, I'm sorry. $52.50 a month. And what that is, and I'd like to get Chief with it, and me with it, anybody else, it's right here, goes to your cell phone.
Yeah.
So when the alarm goes off, we get notified directly. We can be either on our way here, or if we know there's a wedding. So like the situation where I was on the backwaters, fire on a Saturday, there was a wedding going off. The bride and groom came into a smoke detector through that door. See what's right there? Or not smoke detector, they came in through a fog machine. Smoke detector right by that back door went off. That bride, the first 22 minutes of her wedding, listened to an alarm go off. Until I got here, because I think Chief's code and my code are the only ones that shut the fire alarm off, I do believe.
I don't have a code.
Oh, so it's just mine. So it's just the way you do the code. So we could do the same thing with that, but I could have, knowing that there's a wedding, I could have killed it.
so,
Still came over here and checked. I can kill the alarm right away.
So does that mean the groom married some hot stuff to set it on?
Yeah, and I did ask him, there's nothing you can do about a fog machine. A fog machine's always gonna, no matter the smoke detector you buy, it's gonna set it off.
Yep.
Fog machines are not good ideas, you know.
We had a Halloween party down here. Your
They had
wife
let
was
one off.
here. Yeah, I had to
They
come because they were all standing outside because the alarm wouldn't shut
Yeah.
off.
Now, it never did go off the use dry ice.
Yep.
No.
So we have that. So it would be Ann Fortress. You guys are all aware of the lack of attention we've had with the equipment that we've had issues with the last 2 years.
Horrible.
And I did also try to call them and got no response back from the 2 messages I left. So I think it's time that we, yeah. What do you
Should
think?
make a motion to get some updated stuff.
Okay. And then the other thing is, since we're doing this, so we're gonna do this one. So we'll make a motion to do Jason makes a motion to do the 3160 upgrade with the $52 and some change
I'll second
a
it.
month for monitoring with this company. And I think it's a 3-year contract with these guys.
Yep.
Okay? So Jason, Joanne seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Okay. All right. Number 2, well, with our new rules about voting and the early voting, and then all voting drop boxes have to be monitored. And the monitoring, or the cost of that monitoring improvement is going to be reimbursed by the state, correct, Joanne? It gets
Yes,
reimbursed?
for the install.
For the install of that and the equipment, so we have one from the same company to do a camera that will be monitored, and there will be, it's a monthly monitoring fee of $18 a month, and that will basically be a ding to a cell phone again, that will let them know that somebody's coming in, and it's just gonna focus on the box,
The box.
okay?
So this is only,
Vandalism to the
would this
drop-off.
only be used during election time?
That's we're getting
That's kind of our
clarification whether it
clarification, if we
has to
can
be.
shut them on, yeah.
Yeah, whether it's only the 45 days prior when ballots are being distributed, and then up until election day, or whether it's continuous, so.
Gotcha.
They don't
And-
have all of it figured out.
There could possibly be a storage issue and a retention issue. Right now it says monitoring. We don't know if the video has to be maintained or it's just monitored, so it's a 24-hour loop, I think this was a 22-day loop they could do. Or we would need an MVP, I think it is.
20 days.
Yeah, where we would have to store it, because right now the records have to keep for 22 months. We don't know what, they made these rules, but they haven't completed all the rules yet. So this could change, but this at least gets us started. This has to be done by, everybody's got to throw a camera up. So I'd like to make a motion to do the 803 for the initial Covet Security camera system to monitor the polling box.
I'll second it.
Oops, Fraley was there, we're gonna go Merrill.
Go Fraley. Yeah.
Fraley,
Yeah.
sorry, Merrill.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. Okay. And like I said, that gets reimbursed except for the monitor. So. All right. All right, so Pivot Point, I have something for you all. As you all know, we have BS&A software that the assessing uses, that Bob and Ben use. Basically, it is a software that is an overview of the entire township and then an individual record card of every piece of property in the township, and it actually does personal properties. What this Pivot Point is, for 35 cents a parcel, Pivot Point allows for more data to be stored. So what happens is, Great Lakes Assessing has already purchased, the software has purchased tablets, pens and everything. So instead of taking out a record card and writing all over it and taking pictures, that this device, you do everything on the tablet. You write all your notes on the tablet, you do your drawings on the tablet. The tablet actually has interactive live GPS, GIS photos, which is satellite imagery basically. So it shows where you're at walking on the property. So if you're at a house, say in a subdivision or out in a field, you look down a property line, is that on this property or is it on the next property? In using this, you can walk to a 40-acre parcel, you see the house up front. You don't see the 40 by 40 pole barn in the back. Now with the GIS live camera view, you do. You can talk to the homeowners, what's in the back? what's back there? What is that? And you do find, you know, different, and so you'll know where you're at on the property, you'll know what's on the property. Right now, we go out, we don't have any idea, we just look at the house, we don't know what's on the property or where the property lines are. There has been mistakes in the past where somebody's shed from another person is put on somebody else's property. This will all help with that. So, what happens then at the end of the day, or the end of the week, when you're done doing those cards, you download it to Pivot Point. Pivot Point disseminates all that information and uploads it to our BSNA software to every card. So even the notes that say, big dog on property, don't go. When Bob and Ben go to look at that, don't go to the big dog on the property. It has it right on the picture. It also has GPS locations and timestamps of when the pictures were taken. So Bob and Ben, if they were interested in using this, and some townships are doing it too, the township could buy them a tablet. They do a land use permit. They can go out and take a picture of where the future garage is going to be. One of the assessors go out and do the same thing when it's done. So, and just all those records can be stored quicker and updated faster. It allows for a lot more storage of information that usually isn't there. So
this is a continuation that beyond the initial of the 238 setup and the 35 cents a parcel. There's no support needed because you've already used it, right?
It's $833 every year. That covers everything. It's the 35 cents a parcel per year.
Okay.
And it's only for active parcels. It's not personal property.
And what about the tablet? I know I spoke to you about.
That would be up if Bob and Ben thought they could use it. It would be up to the township to buy it.
All right.
Yeah, Great Lakes has their own. The assessing department has their own. I would want to take them out. I'm going to take Dixon's and a few other zoning administrators out and see if they want to use it, if it becomes efficient for them to find. It's hard when you're out there and you don't know which property you're on. That's one of the biggest things with this, and making sure the right things go on the right cards. Because you do have that, you do have that confusion sometimes, especially when you're out in the middle of the woods or you're in a village that's very tight. In our villages, sometimes we don't know what's on which property. So what it is it's a add-on system to BSNA. This Pivot Point works in conjunction with BSNA. It's a data entry storage that streamlines the whole system.
So that's the program that Ben and Bob have right now is BSNA?
Yes. And that's what was on our computer for the assessing. I update it every month when I come in. Or Jenny, or not Jenny, but Jenny used to.
What is the company that I pay an annual to? Is this, I don't know, maybe it's
Well, there's Apex too.
Apex, yeah, but that's the sketching software.
That's the
then,
sketching
right?
software that you're
So
required to have.
that's
by the
separate
state.
from this? Does this do sketching then, no, too? Can we get rid of Apex? Or
No, we sketch on the tablet, but then so if
It
Bob or
imports
Ben
to
were to
that.
do it, you sketch on the tablet, but the sketches don't download. You have to go back into the tablet and actually physically go into Apex to do the sketches.
But they can import it from Apex to this Pivot and then to BSNA, right?
No,
Does it, or no?
How this works is you go, BSNA software carries all the data. Apex is the CAD system. You can take Apex and load it onto BSNA.
Right.
You can take BSNA, if Bob and Ben want to go out and see 5 parcels, or the assessor wants to go see 5 parcels, you load that into the tablet, you go see those parcels, every note you make on those parcels then gets downloaded that night, all the notes. If you say there's a new house, and you're gonna do a drawing, the drawing has to be manually put into Apex. Pivot Point cannot put the drawing in, because you're drawing with your finger.
Right.
It's actually a CAD system where it takes a lot to learn it. You do the X, Y, and Z axis of the building. I mean, you actually have to in square the footage to draw the line, and yeah, it's a complete CAD system. That is one thing that you are required to have. You are required to have drawings with all this, and we have drawings on 90% of those. Yes, ma'am.
This is for tax assessing only?
No, it can be used through the zoning guys too.
Planning and ordinance.
Yep. Okay.
Put it in a fire truck and you'll be able to know what you're going to before you get to it.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of Pivot Point assessing software. Never heard of it.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I abstained. Okay. Alright, so, that's good. So, okay, chief. Now's the SCBA's.
Yes.
What?
So, our SCBA's are getting to the end of their lifespan. Everybody knows SCBA is what we were when we go inside of a burning structure. This year I've sent 4 in. I have another one to send in. Had a malfunction in the last structure fire we had. The low air alarm did not sound. And so I've been making some phone calls, and I got some pricing on new SCBA's. Manufacturer is MSA through McQueen Fire. They're the area rep for them. What I would like to do is I would like to purchase 10. The reason I want to get 10 is because that way they're all the same. We're coming to the end of an NFPA cycle.
What's that mean?
NFPA.
National Fire Protection Authority.
Yeah. So what is going to happen is at the end of their cycle, they change something. And most of the time is what ends up changing is the face piece. And so I'm a member of a department north of here who has 2 trucks with 2 different, they're same MSA air pack, but they require 2 different face pieces that you put on. Very confusing. And so I would like to purchase 10 and then retire the majority of our old ones. I have 2 air packs that are 3 years old, and they're holding up all right yet. The air packs I want to go to are 4,500 PSI bottles. Currently, right now, we have 2216s. They basically double your interior work time on a structure fire. Instead of getting 15 to 20 minutes out of an air bottle, you're going to get 30 to 35 minutes out of an air bottle, where you're physically inside the fire working. We fight on average between Norman Township and Mutual Aid 13 to 15 structure fires a year. And so right now, it seems like almost every fire I have to send something in to get repaired. The parts are getting hard to find. Repairs are taking longer. And so the board has an estimate for the SCBA's. And the total number for that is, the SCBA's is 10 SCBA's, new face pieces. And the MSA is running a special right now on air packs, where you buy an air pack, you get a free air bottle. It comes with 1 air bottle, but you get another air bottle to go with it. Because on the average fire, we'll go through 2 to 3, sometimes 4 air bottles. Air bottles are $1,123 a piece. So, 10 air packs here, $11,000. So the board has that dollar amount on their paperwork, which is $82,773 for 10 air packs.
So we would have 20 bottles then?
Yeah, we'd have 20 bottles and 10 new air packs and 10 new face pieces. So that's step 1. The other part of the equation is we upgrade to 4,500 PSI air bottles. We have to get a compressor to fill them. And when I talk about a compressor, I'm not talking about an air compressor that you got in your garage and you run your nail gun off of it. This air compressor is a 7.5 horse, single phase, 3-stage, that filters the air through, cycles it through, so it's 100% breathable for us when we put our air packs on. And so, otherwise the only way we can fill them is to either get the county air truck or go to another department. and would be to get our air packs filled. So I got an estimate on the air compressor. Air compressor in 4 6,000 PSI air bottles. And that is $34,517.81. So when you add that all up, it comes to a boatload of money. And so I talked with, when I was talking with this company, McQueen Fire, he gave me the name of a gal. It's called Republic First National, which is a lending site. And talked to the gal. I called her up, talked to her. I got some numbers from her. I believe Joanne spoke with her today. And so we can basically finance these air packs for 5 years. I can do it 2 directions. I can give money down, or I can do it with 0 money down. Well, $300.
How long are the air packs good for?
They should last about 10 years.
Okay.
And so in my annual budget, I have $20,000 a year built into my fire budget to purchase SCBA's. And so I have not done it because we've spent a ton of money on truck repairs, like $25,000 on truck repairs last year. And so, so we need to purchase new SCBA's. I would like to, if possible, I would love to get 10 of them so that they're all the same on every truck. Everybody's got their own face piece. We all have our face pieces now. That way if somebody doesn't clean their face piece after pulling a fiberglass ceiling or cellulose ceiling and it gets full of cellulose, they clip their face piece on, they get a mouthful of cellulose, they can't look at me and go, "You wore my air pack last night." Nobody, it's yours. You didn't clean. And so that's basically the spiel.
So do the masks interchange with the new, so like you were just saying, we're gonna get new masks with this for the new equipment, but are the old masks still usable with this new, so? So
No,
those,
'cause right now we
everything
have-
becomes obsolete that we have are basically not usable.
The 2 air packs that are 3 years old would get put on, and they're the 2216 bottles, them are Scott's. They would get put on its own truck, like just say like 142, our rescue truck, if we're going to a car fire or something. But the main packs would go on 141 and 143 for structured fire. And so our packs that we currently have now are Scott. I did demonstration. I had guys come out from Scott and MSA and demoed and showed us the pros and the cons of the Scott to the MSA. I left it up to the department members, and they all said they wanted the MSA. And so,
Is there a significant difference in price, or are they pretty much the same anyway?
pretty much the same. MSA offers a little bit better system, some more safety features than what Scott does at this point in time.
The other advantage is our neighbors have MSA.
Right. Like Irons
Because right
Fire.
now, we can't interchange with Irons or Dixon because they have MSA. Should there be some sort of problem or someone needs more air, we can't interchange with anybody.
We're gonna spend this money over the next, and we budget this 20,000, so every year anyways to get these packets. It gets 10 that are uniform. It gets a compressor so that we can fill them. And we have a little bit of an interest rate, but the free bottles for $11,000 or a little more of free bottles wipe out the $14,000 in interest. I mean, so it's not costing us that much with the interest rate of the bottles. So our interest rate is maybe around the $3,000 range. This is something that secures this part of our fire department. It secures our guys having good breathable air, guys and gals having good breathable air. Yes, it's, we still have the repayment on the truck to the township for the next 3 years. It puts us a little tight, but I think this is something where we need to do. And you got my support with this. So, does anybody else have anything on that?
So Sounds more like a necessity.
Do we,
Yeah,
do we, any,
Yeah, it seems like we have to have.
the old packs, I had one that screwed up on the propane training. I mean, you can't have that happening when you need them.
And the reality is, even, you know, if you paid it off early, if by, you know, the grace of God, we got some kind of grant, we paid it off early, that's gonna reduce that interest too. That's when I called the bank today to see if it was a, you know, set in stone or whether it was a daily interest rate, and it is daily, so. If by chance you were to get any money, you could pay it off earlier, and, you know.
I'll make a motion to buy the 10 air packs and the air compressor.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Do I need to sign?
Is what we need to do, because this deal that MSA is running right now is good until the 16th of September. And so what I'm gonna need you to do is, get with the company for the financing on the air packs and get that started, like ASAP, so we can,
Get checks cut.
hopefully keep this deal with the spare bottles to happen.
We have it to the 16th.
We have till 16.
We got it.
And I can call the rep tomorrow and tell them that the board approved this, now we're just waiting on the bank and.
Are they kinda local, like, you know how mail is, snail mail for sending checks? Are they somewhere you can
Who-
drop the check off if you needed to?
Who's that? The company?
Yeah.
MSA?
McQueen is Wisconsin.
McQueen is
and
Wisconsin.
The bank is
Right,
in
that's-
The
Indianapolis.
closest McQueen location is Grand Rapids.
All right.
I think we could write them the $30,000 check though, because the rest of the balance on the loan. I mean, if there's a little bit of loan processing or
So
something.
we
They're
just
gonna
have
work
to-
together. He gave them that number.
We just need to talk about, and I don't know if we wanna do that after the meeting or whatever, how we wanna go about doing this. I mean, the board approved the purchase of the air pack, but we didn't talk about if we wanted to do it with, you know, if I did it for 5 years and I did a $300 closing cost, I have, obviously, your interest payments are gonna be a little bit more.
I thought the
Yeah, the
30,000.
quote you
The
had
quote we
was
had.
you were gonna do 30,000 down and we were gonna finance the rest. I
Yep.
think
Yeah.
was everybody in
That was
agreement?
the
That's
quote that
what
we
the
set
plan
out,
we're
yeah.
going with?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then,
That's fine. So I would just need to do a check to McQueen for the 30,000 now?
well,
Get with me.
I'll get with the rep, and
All right,
he won't, if I tell him yes, he'll hold his word,
all right,
so.
awesome. Thank you.
And then I'm also working on the old air compressor that we got from Irons.
Got it.
You got that paperwork? Beautiful. Because there's a company, this air compressor is made by Arctic Air. Made in the USA, 100% USA. And this, one of the guys who comes around and will do the install on that compressor also picks up other compressor units. And so, I have 11, 4,500 PSI bottles that are worth something. And so, you know, we may be able to pick a little bit of funding up for this from that. And so, but I'll need that paperwork,
Okay. Got it.
so.
Got it.
Richard, these people you're gonna do some financing through, now I'm gonna be a little smart here. See if they need some tractor work done so you get that.
All right.
Tractor or trailer.
All right.
It's gonna get wore out too fast.
All right, that was good. All right, so fireworks contract. All right, so, so we have our fireworks display contract. I think the display was very good for this last year. Anybody have any questions on the new contract for next year?
So I do, and I did speak with their vice President. In regards to number 6 on the contract, that speaks to cancellation, and that it clearly puts the township as the liable party in the event there is a cancellation, for up to the entire amount and any additional fees that would be incurred. So my recommendation was to have an addendum added to this that spoke to, the fact that the fireworks group understands that that fee would be their responsibility and that they would owe that to the taxpayers, i.e. the township, should that happen.
The only way that you should be charged the 100% is if we show up and we start assembling, and then you come to us and cancel. Otherwise, you should be only charged 50% up until the point that we get here.
Right, yeah, and I understand that, but it's also, it's the taxpayers that are the liability party, because this is between the
Right.
township and the fire,
Yeah.
and the fire, and you, the fireworks company.
Did you get
you
the
know?
update
Right.
when we did this morning?
Rain that day is not, right? I mean, rain is just an
Rain
alternate
day.
day.
Rain is
Yeah,
rain.
rain.
So,
That goes on to
The
another
50%
day.
is already covered, because Billy's got his checkbook out right now, he's gonna write a 50% check, and then he writes a check when you show up, correct?
Yes.
So they're already covering it, it really can't go on the
So
township.
the only way it would go to the township, Joanne, is the board had a private meeting, and you guys canceled it,
Without you guys.
after it's
knowing.
been paid for.
Well, they talk
Then
about
he
other
would have to
grants
have the
too.
restocking fees and things like that. They would be responsible for reimbursing the fireworks group for that, or he would give us up to a year to use those fireworks for a
Yeah, I
different
saw
day.
that, yeah, that's nice, yeah, because, you know, we kinda got into that situation that, you know, it was just a burn ban. I mean, we all talked about the fact that there might be a possibility, we were all, you know, freaking out that,
We're on
oh my
the
God,
water.
we might not be able to have fireworks.
We're on the water, we don't have to worry about fireworks.
Yeah, so that became something that,
Yeah.
But you did have a shoot.
yeah, that, you know, just because we got so close to the
In
possibility.
Barrington, we did have a show
That was a couple
that
days before.
was canceled because the burn bans, it was the same time that the
Right.
Grandin fire was going on.
That was
I'm
on dry
easy-
land though, too,
Yes.
and like Billy said, you know, there's a difference there on the lake.
I'm very easy to work with. I allowed them, I know it says in the contract, because they have the same exact contract as
Right.
you do. It says 180 days. I allowed them to go 365 days. They pushed their whole show back 1 year.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I mean, this is the same thing that we did before. It's just, yeah.
Just while you're here, was there any issues with the platforms?
I didn't get any complaints from our crew, so everything seemed to be good. The only thing I wanted to say is because, you know, the increase of the budget, I believe that you talked with Richard, right?
Yeah.
You talked to him about it. We're gonna need a little more space.
We got that.
So, I'd like to, the 3 that you had this year that were connected together, that would cover our main body that we're gonna use, but we're gonna need 1 extra platform separated from those 3 to be able to put the grand finale on, so that way if we have a cake fire or something like that that happens, it's separated
You said
from
you
the
had an
grand
extra
finale.
Well, we had 4.
There was
Yeah.
4 connected with the bar.
With the
in
bar.
middle.
Was there 4 this year?
Yeah,
Okay. I
so
was
we can
under
just
the
pull
impression
one
it
of
was
those
3.
off.
Okay.
Or there is another one down there.
Or we do have 2 more frames that we used to use before.
Well, I'll have to check with my shooter on to see how congested it was.
Okay, I'll write you down some numbers, but it's a 22-foot by 8-foot pontoon with 4 40 square foot, because they're what, they're 80 square feet, 8 by 10s. There's 4 8 by 10 barges, plus
I would suggest that we use the same setup you had this year and then add 1 more, just to put the finale on.
Do you have one more?
Yeah.
We're gonna
That way,
your boat to push.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah, I have. We're pushing next year, not pulling. That was not fun. It just pulled the boat sideways. Yeah.
this way we keep adequate space in between everything, so if a fire does happen, it's not gonna jump into
It was
other
a great
things.
show. Dwayne, the other thing is because I have to turn in that application thing to whoever we're using for liability. Hopefully we change and I don't have to do that. But there was supposed to be an attachment with what cakes that you were doing, and it wasn't there. There was the site plan, there was another one that said, see attached. And I talked to Nikki about that.
The
Nikki sent me the new contract, but there was one that was supposed to have
You're
the
talking about like on the permit where it says see attached.
see attached, yeah, there was no attached.
That's your
Oh, yeah. I
your
didn't have-
proposal.
I
That's
didn't
got
get
the
that.
list of all the cakes and everything
Right,
that are
yeah,
on it.
I'll get a copy of that then from
Yep.
you. That's perfect, thanks. And then I have all of it, everything that needs, and then do you have to re-permit again?
Yes,
So
and
you're-
actually, I brought you a
Right,
brand
so I
new
can
one.
send in all that? Okay, so, and did we do the water, the DNR thing and stuff? The water, there was more than one permit, wasn't there? There was the regular,
There's a DNR one.
and then just your license stuff. So I think I still have that, but I have your number, so I'll get a hold of you if
Yep,
there's something else they want.
We have to have that one done, and we have to have the insurance, the new insurance going, which I don't renew my insurance until February.
Right.
So once we get that signed, we have the new insurance, and we'll send that off to the DNR, and we'll get the DNR permit within 30 days.
Yeah, we're 10 months away.
Were you gonna do check now, or are you gonna wait till February then?
I'm gonna give him he wants 50% down now.
No, okay, yeah, because I talked to Nick about that in the contract, and it was like, one said, yeah, upon signing, and then another said, but not really till February, and,
The other half is in February, the 7th, isn't it?
No, actually, you're misunderstanding that.
yeah, that
So,
other is on the day of the fireworks.
Basically, what I do
Right.
for you, the smaller communities, is to reserve your date. You can sign this contract today, but I don't require you to make a payment to me until February 1st.
Okay.
Your final payment's not due until July
July
4th,
4th.
on the night of the show.
But, Billy, if we approve this tonight, why don't you, since you got it, why don't you
You
write
got
it,
it, go
and we'll
ahead.
send it off and be done with it.
Sweet.
So,
Yeah.
I make a motion that we accept the contract, for the fireworks agreement for next 4th of July.
I'll second it.
Okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. Good done. So Billy, write her a
Thank
check,
you.
she'll write him a check, and get it in the mail to him, we'll be all good.
Thank you.
All right,
Can I
buddy?
just write him a check and give it to him, or do we have to go through the township?
He has to write it to me, and then I have to do it to him.
Because for
And
our
I can do
insurance
it. I
purposes,
can
that
go
way
in
it's
there and
paid
do
for-
it in a minute.
Yeah.
If
you wanna take it
Darryl
with you.
wants to sign it,
Yeah, if you wanna take it with you, that way you just take
then
it.
you all have it, because it'll take me just a few seconds to do it.
Okay.
And then that's this one, right, or do you have them?
No, there's two.
Oh, here, you wanna sign that?
I have the agreement signed right here. All right,
I have one right here.
Yeah, I gotta sign one.
I already signed it, you're good to go.
You're fine, I'll copy. If you wanted to sign that one, then he's got one. And then I have one, and everybody's happy. Okay, thanks. And then I'll write that to you in a second, and I have the other.
While I'm here, if you wanna just sign that permit.
Richard
Get
has
that
it.
on.
Why?
Either way.
That's what we had a problem with, the township supervisor has to sign
Sign away.
it. You signed it last year.
They didn't say anything, oh, we don't know.
That's fine, let me sign it. And then, I need a copy before I, yeah, so, just hang in there, we'll get it all.
Yeah, December, we just had.
So I would put it on there, your expiration is July 5th.
July 5th, 2024.
Yep.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yep, and here's your signed copy. This is 10 years. Okay. All right, so, thank you all. All right, so, Ronnie, community AED, guys, ours doesn't work. So, Ron's got to do
So,
it.
everybody has a copy of this.
Yes, sir.
Rich has the master one, because that's the one that needs to be signed. So this is the same AED that we have two of these, that we are required to have in the fire department. It's the same model, so we would have no additional cost to anything for programming it. The advantage of this unit is, anytime there's an incident, and it's gonna be noisy, this gives voice directions.
Begin by exposing patient's bare chest.
And,
Walks you through the whole process.
and then
Remove
I
white
can
square
take-
package from lid of
unplug this.
AED.
I have the software on the computer, I can
Tear open white package.
It gives step-by-step directions through CPR and using the machine This is completely automatic, there's no having to push the button now, if it says it needs to shop, it'll say shop will be delivered, and it counts down.
Ron, is that the one are you proposing to replace that?
That
Yep.
doesn't
That
work.
awful,
Yep,
that's right.
that's
Yeah,
what's there.
all right,
Alright,
I'm good. I'll make a motion to
I'll
approve
second
that. Really? Thank you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Rich, I just need that quote that you have
Where do you
signed,
sign here, Ronnie?
just
Oh,
the
six.
quote on the top page, they didn't put a signature.
So does anyone
It
here?
just says at the bottom there,
Sign mine too, then I have one, just anywhere. Just sign them both, and then I have one signed for the file, and he has one to give to them.
and then
We're
I
good.
will email this first thing in the morning, and
Okay, that's
You know, it's
great.
me.
Thank you, thank you. All the sign stuff today, it's too much. No mas. No mas.
well, I only have one more thing that has your signature tonight, so.
Really?
Mutually agreement.
Oh, yeah, we added that, didn't we?
There you go. Alright.
You can have that for your file.
Thanks. All right. All right, so we have the mutual aid agreement. This is an agreement between all of the fire entities that we will help each other. So all the fire departments, all the townships, the city's on this too, right?
City as well as MMR.
As well as MR. So we all basically agree that we will work in cooperation during risk management, or, areas of need of first responders. So I make a motion that we sign and become and still continue to be a member of the mutual aid agreement.
Second.
For the second. All in favor?
Okay, how about number 7? We skipped that. That's the early voting thing.
Oh, did we? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's okay.
I skipped one. All right, so we go back to early voting. See, we just
There
took
we
care
go.
of
You
Ron.
got one, Meryl.
Took care of
You
Ron
got
first. All right, so we'll go back to 7. I apologize. I wasn't looking at my sheet.
So you have a copy of it.
Okay.
Once I collect all the signatures
Need a
through the
signed
county,
I need a signed copy on file.
well, we'll make a copy of this.
Yeah, thank you.
And once I get all the signatures for the whole county, you'll get a full copy of it.
Oh.
It just
yeah,
takes
that's
time to
fine.
get to everybody.
Thank you. You wanna look at mine? Here, early voting.
This is just what do we got here? This is just a election commission that we're doing the early voting.
It's the board. So early voting is mandated by the state under Proposition 2022-2. So basically, they have to establish early voting sites. This is rural America. So the county has made a determination that they are gonna establish all early voting sites. They have determined that Maple Grove Township will be one and Manistee Township. And all the other communities will go to the one that's probably closest to them, us being Maple Grove Township. So this just, because there's finances involved and the fact that we will have to pay for their training of the workers for early voting and potentially some additional costs associated with early voting, we're asking board approval to approve the early voting agreement with the county.
We have an option.
We don't really.
So I'll make that
We
motion.
really don't.
And I'll
Okay.
second it.
Thank
All
you.
in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. All right, I need a motion.
She can make the most
I'll make the
important one.
motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay.
All in favor? All right, thank you all for coming.
That's the most important motion.
Oh, that's, okay, that's what I was wondering.
Do you want to sign? I'll grab that check and that fireworks stuff.
I know. What did I do with Val's?